Ever wonder how I fish these walls? I got these glow-in-the-dark fiberglass rods. Greatest investment ever. Anyway, it goes down the basement. I lit it up. I'll be able to see it from the other side of the basement. And then when I bring it out, pull it up here, put it in the outlet. Groovy. Well, come on, grab a fishing pole. Looks like we got us a stream underneath the house here. And let's see here. Where does she go? Oh, she goes over here. Well, here's the good thing. The good thing is it's finding its way out and it's not puddling up over there. We're going to have to do a French drain or something here. I don't know. Always something. Well, it looks like the property value just went up. We now have ourselves a waterfall right at the front of the driveway. I thought it was cool. Okay, today is Wednesday, January 10th. I thought I'd just give a brief update on the progress we've made. I'm out here at the well. Doesn't really make any sense. They've got what's called a pitless adapter. The purpose of that is so that the pipe stays underground, number one, to keep from freezing. Number two, it's called a pitless adapter, so you don't have to dig a pit, which we have here. I bet you this well pump is probably the same age as the house, which means it's going to have to come out shortly. I won't monkey with it right now for obvious reasons. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to cut into this right here. I'm going to put a faucet spigot. I'm going to get a cap for this, and out of that faucet spigot I'm going to come out and I'm going to shoot a jet of water. It's going to constantly be circulating in here. What that's going to do is that's going to oxygenate that water, hopefully breaking down some of that hydrogen sulfide gas. So anyway, that's where we sit right now. I haven't touched this yet, but it's coming. Let's go inside. Okay, so what we're waiting on right now is I've got 3 of these filters. These are whole house filters. They're used for sediment. I'm going to put 3 of them in a series. Why? Well, if you've ever changed them, they're kind of a pain in the ass. So if I load them with 3, I have the ability just to turn a knob and bypass one and go to the other. Next, I'm also waiting on manifolds. I'm going to use PEX manifolds to feed all the plumbing in the house except for the outside plumbing. That will go before the filter. I'll put a T on there and cap it off for right now. So the pressure tank will feed a T right here, and then this will feed, and then what we'll have is a manifold. What that does is reduce the pressure drop to, say, the faucet. So if you flush the toilet and you're in the shower or bathtub, you don't lose as much pressure there. So we're waiting on that. So there's a bunch of work that's got to be done there. So here we are. We're waiting on the epoxy primer. So you can see that there's some rust in here. We've got everything to start this except for the epoxy primer. And that's important because once I sand all this out and make it smooth, I don't want to have to redo it because it hasn't been primed and the rust comes back. So we're waiting on that. So that's it for the plumbing. So the electrical, where do we stand on that? Well, I've got these extra outlets in. We're going to put the garbage disposal line. This is going to be a switch and it's going to go down there. What I've decided is I'm going to go ahead and tap into the load side, which I now have down in the basement, run a line over here just to feed the garbage disposal. So that'll pretty much take care of that electrical. In here on the panel, like I said, I'm going to go with some double pull 20s to clear up some space. This feeds our pressure switch for our pressure tank down below. I have some spare wire, and to that piece of plywood with all the filters on it, I'm going to run some wire. I'm going to run a separate line down there for that so that I have power down there, because something tells me we're going to be having a filtering mess with this water. But anyway, so that's where we stand with that. Waiting for the stove. We'll button this thing up right here to the wall like that right there. So yeah, everything's hooked up here. So again, I'm going to try to catch this today. the shelves, or excuse me, the cabinets. So I've mounted these cabinets with no problem. I fixed them all up. What I'm waiting for right now is the new drawer slides. They're going to have to be mounted to the side here, and I don't want to couple these together because I won't be able to get to them. So I'm going to have to probably shim those out. I got plenty of wood. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm going to have to shim these out, probably put something across here for the new slides to put in. So I can't go much further with the cabinets. Obviously, I've got to get the countertop in before we can put the sink in. So there's where we stand on that. So I'm kind of like in a waiting mode. Right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to TSP the ceiling and all this stuff here. And I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of Kills on here. I kind of waited so I didn't have to write on this. Where all everything's level and everything else. So I drew lines through here. So the Kills will cover all that up. So I'll cut that hole there, and yep, we're going to start to prime all this and put some molding up around here, start painting these things. We're getting there. It's just waiting on stuff. I'm waiting on the stove. Once we get the stove in here, I can get the cabinets situated, because without knowing how tall the stove is, yeah, I could probably measure everything, but I want it in place so that when I put the cabinets in, I know exactly where it is. I may have to cut a cabinet down in half here and squeeze it on the end. I don't know. So anyway, that's where we're kind of standing with that. Rest of the stuff, carpet and all this other stuff, it can be done while we're in the house, but trying to get out of that other place and get into here. Got to take care of the important stuff.